Hi everyone, I'm Matt LaMarsh with Keller Williams First Atlanta, and this is Selling Sandy Springs. So start off by telling us who you are and where we are today.
Nikitas Panagopoulos. Started here back in 3 months ago. Apron and Ladle, my sister and I partners. We've known Hoyt 20 years, 18 years. Hoyt's been a baker, started out baking breads for us in our restaurant back in 99, 2000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we go way back.
I didn't even know that.
He was with Eatsy's Bakery back then.
Oh,
so he was supplying the breads for my fishmonger at Fishmonger 99. Started then. And he and I have been in touch. He moved around. I had Fishmonger until 2009. Closed it, opened up Tila Taqueria. May 99, we had Tila Taqueria. August, September, we took over the space next door and turned it into Tin Can Fish House, Oyster Bar, real casual. Started with that. I mean, from there, about a year ago, we decided to sell, and I'd been wanting to get into the breakfast business for a long time. So Hoyt and I were like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, touching base, like we got to do something, we got to get into the breakfast business. And timing just wasn't working out. You know, locations hadn't come up. Hoyt was different stuff that was going on his side.
Sure.
So we were like, man, and then selling the location, it came back to us. The guy had violated his lease, basically. Landlord called us back, please come put your space in. He was consulting in between jobs. So we kind of hooked up. We said, come on, let's get together, let's do this. And so we were starting to do biscuits, basically. In the beginning, it was going to be predominantly biscuits. And then with the culture changing, we needed to healthify it kind of thing.
Sure.
Like we could really bring up the lunch into a different level. People going more health conscious, and that's where Hoyt really brought his talents in.
Yeah.
And help create the salads, the dressings. I mean, we do it all from scratch. Everything's done from scratch.
Yeah. So breakfast, brunch, and lunch.
Yes.
Okay. So Hoyt, talk a little bit about the menu, like how you draw your inspiration, your process.
You know, I think what has really inspired us with this menu was freshness. I think we use here just good culinary practice and fresh ingredient and let that shine for itself. Again, being breakfast, we can't go too heavy on spices and salts because, again, people want to start off, especially on the health side, start off kind of baseline. So we make sure that we have fresh ingredient paired with good culinary practice. One thing I can tell you that it's not necessarily, everything may not be heart healthy. The biscuits definitely have butter. We don't use lard.
Yeah.
Another one that I can think of is our red eye gravy. Nick and I laugh about that all the time. It's a 2-hour process. And
Yeah, it is.
It is a
Never
very
even heard of
laborious
red eye
process,
gravy.
but it's very similar to if you did any reduction in any good culinary kitchen. You reduce that down 4 times till there is a very concentrated reduction, and it shines. It definitely shines.
And so are you responsible for this beautiful display here?
Yes, the biscuits that you see now have come probably met the cut after about what five times?
Like 4 times.
Okay.
The funny thing
times.
was, like right in the beginning, we're going to do these biscuits. So it goes in there, mixes up, a batch comes out. Not quite right. Not exactly. Yeah, we knew what we wanted.
Sure.
And he knew how to do it. It was like him matching our palate or style of the biscuit.
Absolutely.
So he had created, 10, 15 minutes, boom, plate comes out, tried it. Not quite right. Go back in there, mix it up again. And like you said, 4 or 5 times we got it right, and that was it. We set it, done.
Nice.
And we bake them continuously all day long. Every hour, literally, he's pushing out the biscuits. So they're fresh and hot all the time.
All day. And that's our
all
thing.
day long.
We want our customers to come in at 7 o'clock and get a biscuit, and come in at 2 o'clock, and it's just as
Rock
fresh.
hard, yeah.
It's just as fresh and consistent.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we don't make batches of biscuits and they sit around all day long. They are pretty much baked up to the minute. You
Yeah.
know, when they start running out, we make another batch and
Yeah.
it's right up there. So
The jams,
so,
the
yeah,
same
the
thing
jams
with
are the same.
preserves. He makes
Right.
them all.
The jams.
Nice.
Buys in the fruit, does the preserves. They change the variety or whatever's in season.
Yep.
Like you said, everything's fresh and everything's to the season.
The fun's in the jam. Once you have a biscuit, it's a biscuit. But then the party changes when you change the hat.
It does. It's true. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's what you
Yeah.
cap it with.
No, you're
Well,
not.
and they're like massive biscuits. People don't expect
Yeah,
to see.
let's get some scale.
Yeah, I mean they're huge. Like
That's another thing. We wanted to kind of do things a little over the top, if
Sure.
you will. Our biscuits are more of a fork and knife biscuit rather
Yeah.
than
That's right. That's
more
right.
than a
Handheld.
pickup handheld.
Yeah.
But you do have the little.
But we have the
Biscuit
little
bites.
ones.
The
I call
miniature.
these bite size for
Bite
me,
size.
because
The
I have a
biscuit
big mouth,
bites.
but-
Biscuit bites. Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm Josie Taylor, and I do restaurant public relations. I am Apron and Ladle's publicist, more or less. And I actually connected with Nick and his sister Artie a couple years ago when I'm a part of LSU Atlanta. I'm an LSU fan in Georgia, so that's always a tricky thing in itself. We were looking for a Sandy Springs location to have our watch parties, and somewhere where they would have TVs with the game turned on, because that's always important. And when this was Tila Taqueria and Fish House, this was like the perfect spot.
Yeah.
And they became LSU fans and opened their doors. They even had a flag out for us.
We had everything else.
I mean, it was like,
purple and gold everywhere.
it was amazing. It was
And
so
posters,
perfect.
wallpaper. It was crazy.
They really came through. So that's how our relationship started. And then I also do restaurant PR and event planning. So when they turned the space into Apron and Ladle, we reconnected about me coming in doing their press and PR for their opening, for the restaurant opening, and then also managing their social media. So that is what I do now.
Perfect.
In the beginning, it was a lot of restaurant public relations in terms of press releases that the restaurant was going to be opening, and then getting that social media buzz. Instagram and Facebook have really been our biggest outlets.
Absolutely.
For sure. Facebook has been sort of the followers that were original followers of the two restaurants they had previously. And then Instagram is your, food bloggers and your influencers
Right.
and everyone wants that perfect food photography.
That's right.
The biscuits, Chef Hoyt has made my job very easy because, it's an influencer's like picture perfect thing to take these great biscuit
They
photos.
sell themselves. Yeah.
They really do. They really sell themselves, yeah. So a lot of Instagrammable moments have happened in the last 6 weeks, which has made my job a lot easier. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. So tell us a little more about this location, where you guys are, and kind of what you guys offer within the building here.
Sure. I mean, the first thing I tell everyone is we're in the Kroger Shopping Center, and then they're like, I know exactly where you are. This space has been completely transformed from what it was when it was Tila Taqueria and Tin Can Fish House. It's got this sort of Southern European classic vibe that I love, with the teal walls and the modern space. When you walk in, you can have the sit-down, seated restaurant vibe with the full countertop where there's a barista bar, and you can do everything from cappuccinos. They have the Italian illy coffees, which are a huge hit, and then people are loving that. And then on the other side of the restaurant is sort of you can sit down and you can bring your laptops or your iPad and have this sort of internet cafe with your cappuccino, your latte, read the paper, do some work, sit down and have a quick meeting. This space has been really great for that.
Yeah.
It's also the space where you can rent out for private corporate events.
Gotcha.
If you have a luncheon that you want to do, a corporate luncheon or corporate breakfast, this is a great space to have that meeting.
Perfect.
Because it's a little quieter on this side.
Yes. People kind of like that.
Yeah.
It does. Like, I need a quiet spot, and we shift them over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very good.
Read your paper, have your moment, get your day started. It's the perfect spot to do that. So the great thing about this restaurant is we have outdoor seating as well. In front of the restaurant, you can sit outside at the cafe bistro tables. And we also have outdoor seating on the back patio that is pet friendly. So you can bring your pet with you. You don't have to leave them at home. And sit out there and have your brunch and breakfast or lunch, and bring your animal with you.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's also been a big hit as well. We get a lot of questions about platters of biscuits if they want to do it for their office party, or they have family coming in town and they want to have some morning breakfast biscuits ready for their family. So we do offer that. You can get a half dozen of the biscuits, or you could get a whole dozen, or you could get as many as you want.
So if someone wants to get more information, not just coming here, walking through the door, obviously,
Right.
but they want to have a group event here,
Okay.
or maybe they've got an office party coming up, or breakfast they need something for, what's the best way for them to reach out and touch base with you guys?
They can call our phone number, which is 404-963-1080.
Perfect.
Got it? On the spot?
Got it. Got it.
They can email me directly at apronandladlepr@gmail.com.
Perfect.
And then send us a message on Facebook or Instagram. I always repost. If you come in here and take a great shot of your breakfast or your lunch, or even just sitting down at the counter having a nice cappuccino and an iced tea, take a picture and
Yeah.
I'll send some miniature biscuit bites to you.
Very good.
If you like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram, we'll give you and your friends at the table
Complimentary basket of biscuit bites.
biscuit bites for the table.
Very good.
Who doesn't love Southern biscuits?
Right.
Exactly.
I wish they could smell.
I know, it's so
We need
good.
the smell of it.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
And I
good.
will say, when we first opened, apart from doing the press releases and sending that out to different, media outlets, Artie, his sister, and I, we actually took these platters of biscuits and we went to local businesses around Sandy Springs just to kind of get, the name out. Because,
Sure.
with
Get the product in the hand.
Right,
and
so they
out,
could physically
yeah.
see,
So
and
that
then
helped a lot. Yeah.
it really did.
The two girls at the good shop, they pounded the streets.
Yeah.
Just taking it out there, hitting on the business, local residents and back.
Yeah, we took the menus, we took the biscuits, showed them where we were, how they could get in touch with us. We also went to the Sandy Springs Police Department, which was great, and then the firemen. So they were, it was great. So just to be in the community and showcase, the new kid on the block and what they bring to the Sandy Springs community is, just gets them a visual of what it is. So when they're
Absolutely.
driving by and they see the sign, they know what's actually going on
Yeah.
inside.